You know, every single programmer out there has a hello world story. And today, today we're going to write yours in Java. We are literally going to make your computer say something back to us. It's that first awesome step into the world of coding. So let's just dive right in.
So, the big question is, are you ready to make your computer talk? Seriously, because by the time we're done here, you will have written your very first piece of Java code. It's this classic rite of passage, you know? Every developer does it, and we're going to do it together right now.
Okay, first things first. Before we can even think about writing code, we need a clean, organized place to work. You can think of it like setting up your lab before you start a cool science experiment. It might seem like a small thing, but trust me, it's a super crucial first step.
And our setup is really simple. Step 1, just make a new folder anywhere you want on your computer. This is going to be our project's home base. Step 2, inside that folder, create a brand new file. Now, here's the most important part, so listen up. You have to name it Hello.java. That .java at the end, that's not just for looks. It's a special signal that tells the computer, hey, this file has Java code inside.
All right, so our workspace is all set up, and right away, we're at a fork in the road. When you're just starting out in Java, there are basically two different ways you can get going. One way is kind of like a playground, where you can just test things out real quick. The other is more like a formal blueprint for building an actual proper application. And guess what? We're going to check out both.
And this pretty much sums it up perfectly. On one side, you've got the playground. This is where you go to just mess around, try stuff, and see what happens, like instantly. Then on the other side, you have the blueprint. This is the serious, structured way you build a real program. So let's start with the fun one, right? Let's head to the playground.
So this playground we're talking about is actually a tool called JShell. It was added to Java back in version 9, and its whole reason for existing is to let us play with little bits of Java code and see the results right away. You don't need any of the usual ceremony or formal setup. It's basically Java on easy mode.
Okay, let's give it a whirl. All you do is open up a terminal, type JShell, and hit enter. Once you're in, you can pretty much treat it like a really powerful calculator. For example, what happens if we just type 9 minus 6 and press enter? And bam, just like that, the answer pops up, 3. There was no compiling, no waiting, nothing. It's pure instant gratification for coders. That is the power of the playground.
All right, simple math is cool and all, but that's not why we're here. We want to make the computer talk. And in Java, the way we do that is with this command here, System.out.println. It looks a little weird, I know, but just think of it as the magic spell. It basically tells Java, hey, whatever I put inside these parentheses and quotes, just print it on the screen.
And would you look at that? It works perfectly. We typed in our command, and the computer immediately printed out hello from the playground. This right here is our first big win. We have officially written a line of Java code that did exactly what we told it to do. Awesome.
Okay, the playground was a blast, but it's really just for practice. Now it's time to get serious and move over to the blueprint. We're going to take that exact same command that just worked, but this time, we're going to put it inside that official hello.java file we made. This is how real-deal programs are actually built.
So here we are, inside our hello.java file. We're typing in the exact same line of code that worked perfectly in the playground just a second ago. I mean, logically, this has to work too, right? Well, let's find out.
Now, before we actually run this, I just want to set the stage for what's about to happen. Because getting an error, especially your very first one, is not a failure. I promise. It's actually a necessary step. It's the computer's way of teaching you the rules of the game. Every single developer on the planet goes through this.
See, unlike the playground where everything was instant, a blueprint file needs a formal two-step process. First, we have to compile it using the java command. The best way to think about this is like an inspector is checking our blueprint for any mistakes or rule violations. If it passes that inspection, and only then can we run it with the java command, which is what actually brings our program to life. So we run that first step, javac hello.java, to get our code inspected, and it fails. We get a big ol' error. The exact same line of code that worked flawlessly in the playground was just flat out rejected by the blueprints inspector.
And this brings us to probably the single most important question of this whole explainer. Why? Why on earth did the same code work perfectly fine in one place, but not in the other? I'm telling you, understanding the answer here is the key to really understanding how Java works under the hood.
The reason we got that error is because the playground and the blueprint are built for completely different things. They play by a totally different set of rules. And we just broke one of the blueprint's most important rules. This table right here lays it all out perfectly. You see, JShell, the playground, its whole purpose is for quick, messy experiments. You don't need any structure. But a .java file, the blueprint, that's for building full applications. And because of that, it absolutely demands a strict structure. And that compiler we talked about, our little inspector, its job is to enforce those rules, no exception.
So here it is, the big takeaway. Our code failed because it was just floating there in an empty file all by itself. A proper Java program, a blueprint, demands that every single instruction lives inside a formal structure. More specifically, your code has to live inside something called a method. Think of that as a single task or a recipe. And that method has to live inside something called a class, which is like a big container for all the related recipes. The playground lets us get away with skipping all that. But the blueprint? Nope, it won't let it slide. Okay, so let's quickly recap the main points here. JShell, it's awesome. It's your go-to tool for quick tests and just trying things out. But when you want to build a real application, you absolutely need the structure of a proper .java file. And the most important thing to remember, when you see an error, do not panic. It's not a failure. It's just the compiler trying to help you, guiding you on how to follow the rules of the blueprint.
And that leaves us with the perfect question to wrap things up. We get it now, we understand why our blueprint failed, but what does a correct one even look like? What is this class and method structure that the compiler is so insistent about? Well, that's exactly what we're going to build together in the very next explainer. I'll see you there.